Quentin Tarantino developing Star Trek movie, may direct. Quentin Tarantino is developing a new Star Trek movie for Paramount alongside J.J. Abrams, and may wind up directing it. Abrams is responsible for the resurgence of Star Trek in film over the last decade after relaunching the franchise back in 2009. With an entirely new cast headlined by Chris Pine, Zoe Saldana, and Zachary Quinto, the reboot fared well during its first two outings. Unfortunately, Star Trek Beyond did not meet expectations last year at the box office despite critical praise, and the once considered fourth film has been lost in space ever since. The Star Trek name is too big of an IP to keep sitting dormant, even though it is still living on through Star Trek Discovery, from theaters. It is no surprise Paramount is looking for another way to bring the franchise back, but it may come from one of cinema's most talented minds. Deadline is reporting Quentin Tarantino recently pitched an idea for a new Star Trek film to Abrams and Paramount, and it was very well received. Paramount is looking to assemble a writer's room to flesh out Tarantino's idea at the moment, and if all things go according to plan, Abrams will stick around as a producer. Depending on the rest of the development process and his schedule, it is also possible that Tarantino could direct the film. Tarantino has been one of the top directors in Hollywood since breaking out with Reservoir Dogs and has followed that up with a series of classics. Throughout his career, his interests have been in largely original tales or ones that he can put his own unique twist on. This appears to be the case with his current project, said to revolve around Charles Manson, and with that film slated for a 2019 release. It may be a while before this Star Trek film gets off the ground. An entire writer's room still has to be assembled, and who knows what elements Tarantino is looking to infuse Star Trek with, but this is clearly in the early stages and it's safe to assume it won't start filming for a few more years. In that time, it's likely we won't see too many details emerge about the vision Tarantino has, but he clearly has one that got the studio excited. It wasn't too long ago Tarantino said he'd be interested in a Star Trek movie and would possibly even be willing to go beyond his 10-film plan to do so. Since it is so early for this project, there is no word on if it would be a continuation of Abrams' franchise, stay in the Kelvin timeline, be a fresh reboot entirely, or something else. Tarantino most likely doesn't want to have to worry about continuity of previous films, so a standalone/reboot is probably the best bet at this stage. But, with Abrams also on board, maybe Tarantino's involvement could greenlight a fourth film in this franchise. If not, Tarantino being given a blank canvas in Star Trek's universe is an exciting possibility.